everybody, and a very warm welcome along to Sportsbet TV. Paul Alster here with your preview ahead of what is sure to be an absolutely outstanding day's racing in Britain on Saturday, and of course on Sunday as well, where we'll be at Sandown for the Eclipse. But on Saturday we have not one but two classic races. They're normally staged on different days at Epsom, but because of the coronavirus, the classics that are normally the first weekend in June have been moved to this first weekend in July, and they've decided to run both the Oaks and the Derby on the same card, so it really is a very special occasion. Now we've got selections for you in the Oaks, in the Derby and in the Eclipse. But before I come to that, first of all, a very quick word about the one midweek selection which ran really well. It was Celestial Object that we tipped for you at Leopardstown on Wednesday. The Jessie Harrington trained filly in the group race ran really well, 10 to 1 she was. We recommended her each way. She came second, just finding 1-2 good. So a nice profit if you were with us on Celestial Object on Wednesday at Leopardstown. Now let's go straight to Saturday, to the Epsom Derby, one of the world's greatest races, and we'll start off with this one because it's at 4:55. It's a race that of course produces one of the very best 3-year-old colts in the world each and every year, a colt that is going to go on to be one of the great stallions, the Connections hope. It's been won by all the star horses in Britain and Ireland and in France as well over the last few hundred years, and this year, once again, Aidan O'Brien has a very strong hand. He's set to saddle 6, which is quite extraordinary, and it's going to be fascinating to see how they go. Among his main market contenders, he has the £3.2 million colt Mogul, Russian Emperor who won at Royal Ascot, Vatican City who was second in the Irish 2,000 guineas. He also has Serpentine Mythical and an absolutely unpronounceable thing with a Gaelic name which I can't say, something like Anran Nabanran or something, but I can't see that winning, which is going to be a great relief to the Commentator. Now, O'Brien has won this 2 of the last 3 years with Wings of Eagles in 2017 and Anthony Van Dyke last year, but I'm not convinced that he's going to be able to do it again because Kamiko, the 2,000 guineas winner, is in the field. He won very, very well at Newmarket for Andrew Balding and Oisin Murphy. If he stays, he could prove hard to beat, but it's a very big if because he has to go up an extra half mile. The one horse we know will stay, and we think he's going to act on the track because he won at Lingfield, which is not at all dissimilar to the unique Epsom racecourse, is English King. Now he is trained by Ed Walker, and he is the mount of Frankie Dettori. Frankie Dettori taking over from regular rider Tom Marquand for this feature race of the year. English King won at Newcastle last season over 1.25 miles, and then he won that Derby trial beating Berkshire Rocco by 2 3/4 lengths. And the really significant thing here is that Berkshire Rocco went on to run over in Ireland in the Irish Derby, and very unusually that was run before the English Derby because of all the corona issues, and he was beaten 2 3/4 lengths into second place by the winner there, Santiago. That means that essentially on form shown so far, English King is the equal of the Irish Derby winner Santiago. That makes him a worthy favourite, even though he is drifting in the betting. We think he's going to be hard to beat. He'll handle the track. The draw maybe isn't ideal in 1, but currently at 3 to 1 at the time of this recording, he may drift out a touch, but the Frankie Dettori factor is sure to make sure his price doesn't get too big. So we're with English King, but as a saver, you may remember a few weeks ago we tipped a horse for you called Worthily when it made its racecourse debut at Newbury, and it went on to win at 9 to 4 in a 1.25 mile contest. That was a superb effort from this colt, trained by John Gosden, and he has been given his chance to run in the Derby after just one previous run. Very, very unusual for any trainer. Particularly unusual for the likes of John Gosden, one of the all-time great trainers, who's won the Derby with Benny the Dip, and also won it with the Great Golden Horn in 2015. I thought he was going to prepare this horse for the St Leger. I was pretty convinced about that. The fact that he's letting him run in the Derby on his second start means he really does rate this colt, who's offered at 33 to 1 with the big bookmakers, but also is bigger at around 40 to 1 on the exchanges. I suggest a little bit each way on Worthily at the exchange price of 40 to 1 as a bit of a saver for the 3 to 1, 100 to 30 thereabouts for English King. And that is my Derby advice for Epsom on Saturday at 4.55. Now, an hour and a quarter before the Derby on Saturday, we have the thrilling side of the Investec Oaks. This is for the fillies, the 3-year-old fillies over the same undulating, very challenging mile and a half. This time in the Oaks there are only 8 fillies running, and to be fair, I don't think you can look a lot further than the front 2 in the betting. Frankly Darling won the Ribblesdale Stakes at Royal Ascot for John Gosden and Frankie Dettori. She looks a very good filly, and she's proven at this trip. She's going to be a tough nut to crack, but when I saw the filly Love win the 1,000 guineas at Newmarket in early June, I have to tell you, the first thing I thought straight away was this is the Oaks winner. She's trained by Aidan O'Brien. She is the mount of Ryan Moore. Ryan looking for his 3rd win in the Investec Oaks. And she's bred to stay. That's the thing about it. She was fast enough to win over the mile at Newmarket, but I feel she will stay the mile and a half at Epsom, and Aidan has a wonderful record in the Classics at the Surrey track. She's by Galileo, and her full sister won a Group 3 over a mile and a half. Everything says that Love will stay, and I think she will win. She's currently on offer at the time of this recording with Unibet and Sky Bet at 6 to 5. That's 120% profit on your money if you're going to play, and I think that Love will win the Oaks at 3.40 at Epsom on Saturday. She'll be pushed hard, I'm sure, by Frankly Darling, but I think that Love is the better of the two and is going to land the spoils. And then we move on to Sunday, because the Coral Eclipse Stakes is being staged on a Sunday for the first time at Sandown Park. It's normally this weekend on the Saturday, but because Epsom is staging the Derby and Oaks, they've moved it back a day, and it promises to be a great race, a really great race. Now, the thing about this contest is that it's a clash of generations, and it's over the intermediate middle distance trip of a mile and a quarter. At the time of this recording, we haven't got the final declarations, but we believe that the likes of Enable, Gaiath and Japan are almost certain to run. We're not sure that Lord North is going to go, and there are other very, very high-class performers. Gaiath we saw winning at Newmarket, where he took the rescheduled Coronation Cup in fine style. He's a huge brute of a horse trained by Godolphin, but every time he's come up against a real top-notcher in Group 1 company, he's failed to deliver the goods, including in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe last year. So I'm against Gaiath. Japan is a very fine horse trained by Aidan O'Brien. He, of course, won the Judd-Monte International last season. He won the King Edward VII Stakes at Royal Ascot, and he won the French Derby. He's a terrific horse. He looked very backward and in need of the run when he was only 4th at Royal Ascot. He'll be a different proposition, and I think he poses the main danger to the legendary mare Enable, who makes her seasonal return. She really is a superstar, Enable, trained by John Gosden and the mount of Frankie Dettori. She, of course, had that amazing run of success, winning a stack of Group 1 races, including 2 Arc de Triomphes, 2 King Georges, the English and Irish Oaks, 2 Yorkshire Oaks, the Breeders' Cup, and then she got beat at the end of last season by Volgeist as she defended her Arc title in Paris. She still ran a great race. She's been kept in training, which is very sporting of her owner, Prince Khalid Abdullah, and I'm hoping it's going to pay off. She's won this race before. She goes well on the track. A mile and a quarter is a bare minimum for her, but she'll have done plenty of work, and I think her class will carry her through. So at 11 to 10, we're with Enable to win the Eclipse yet again. At the time of recording, she is available at 11 to 10. Remember, that's 110% profit on your money with 888, Sky Bet, Coral and Betway. So for me, Enable it is to start her season belatedly with a win in the Coral Eclipse on Sunday. And just to recap, I'm with Love to win the Oaks at Epsom on Saturday. And in the Derby, I think that English King will win for Ed Walker and Frankie Dettori, but the big danger, and if there is to be a surprise at big odds, it could be Worthily, who I recommend to you at 40 to 1 each way, the current Betfair odds for John Gosden and I think he'll go really well. A big race ride for Martin Harley. That's it for now. Enjoy some marvellous racing this weekend and come back and join us midweek where we'll review these big races and offer our midweek selection here at Sportsbet TV. Bye bye for now.